Hello, this is part 4 of the Squareboi Assembly Guide. In this video, we'll go over final assembly and programming for the system. Let's start with the case. The main board fits into a standard reproduction Game Boy cartridge shell, with the upper part of the back removed. You could use a pair of flush cut clippers for this, or a rotary tool with a cutting disc. The two halves of the shell should slide together and can then be secured with a small screw. Next, we'll install the CPLD. Make sure the text faces up when inserted. Apply even pressure until it seats firmly into the socket. It's now time to burn the firmware. For this, we'll use an USB blaster style programmer. This particular one is a cheap reproduction, but it should still do the job. Connect the programming header to the board. The connector is keyed, so make sure it goes in the right way around. Insert the Squareboi into your Game Boy of choice, making sure it has a fresh set of batteries. Then, connect the programmer to your computer via USB. Finally, when all connections are secure, turn on the Game Boy. I'll use your JTAG in order to burn the firmware. I have installed the program and placed the firmware file I'll be using inside the same folder. The commands I'll execute are as follows. First, I'll specify that I'm using an USB blaster cable. Then, I'll ask it to detect that the CPLD has been connected. I'll tell the program the part we're using has an instruction length of 10. And finally, I'll tell it to play the serial vector file that contains the firmware, show a progress bar, and stop when done. Let's see how that looks in real time. Programming may take a few minutes. If you encounter an error, check your connections and try again. The process is now done. We can close the program. I can now turn off the Game Boy, disconnect the USB blaster from my computer, and remove the programming header. Make sure to do so in that order, or damage to the programmer may occur. It's time to install the ROM. There are several options you could go with. You could use a DIP IC, with or without an adapter board, a stack of 2 daughter boards to have 4 MB of storage, or a single SMD module, either the stackable or standalone version. For this cartridge, we'll go with that last one. Insert the daughter board into the corresponding slots, making sure it is oriented the right way up, and all pins make contact. If you're using a RAM module, you should install it now. Again, make sure the text faces the right way up. If desired, you can now attach the 3D printer outer shell. I've already attached the nylon standoffs to the front part, so now it's just a matter of screwing both halves together with nylon screws. Let's program the cartridge and see if it works. I'll insert it into the Write-By programmer, then connect it to my computer via USB. The programmer should go through its self-test sequence. If both LEDs turn on, and then only the green one remains, you should be ready to go. As a final step, make sure the cartridge has programming mode enabled. The left dip switch should be on, and the right one should correspond to the MBC model you'd like it to perform as: off for MBC 1 or on for MBC 5. Let's turn on the Write-By GUI and choose which ROM to program. How about some homebrew? Shintendo's excellent Elden Ring Demake, for instance. I'll start the serial connection with the Arduino, then select the Squareboi for programming, as well as the MBC mode we're using, and the model of the ROM chip. Then, I'll start writing to the cartridge. The programmer transfers data in 1 kilobyte chunks, blinking the green LED at the end of each one. Smaller ROMs should be transferred in a few seconds, while the largest ones may take several minutes. And it's done. Let's close the program, unplug the Write-By, and test it out. Everything worked well. If you've been following along, your Flashcart should now be ready to play with. I hope this video series was of use to you, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and enjoy your Squareboi.